Hello, everyone, and welcome to Polarized. I am your host, Molly Dare, and I am joined today by the extraordinary Antonio Postorino. Antonio is my good friend. He is also the founder of Unfiltered PR. You'll notice that my co-hosts are my real life co-hosts, the people that I go to every single day. We work in media with influencers, celebrities, and in crisis management. For those who have been following us for a while, you may remember that Antonio and I used to have a radio show back in the day.
Back when.
And this is our first time back together on the mic. On the mic.
Here we are. There's a lot to talk about. I think ever since our show ended, like the show never stops with Molly and I. We're always up to something. We're always working on new projects. And I think that's like the beauty of friendship and our friendship is there's always so much behind the scenes that we're able to do. But I'm excited to be here and share a glimpse into our text messages with you all.
Well, let's get started because there's so much that I want to get through. Antonio, did you know that there was a Super Bowl last night?
Yes, I went to my friend's house for the snacks. They were phenomenal.
Well, there were two teams that were playing, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know that the whole world was rooting for the Eagles to win, and I get it because who doesn't
I
love it?
think because of Taylor Swift. I think that's literally like everyone's just voting for these people because of Taylor Swift.
Well, we can get into that. Kansas City Chiefs are an amazing team on their own, even before the Swift effect.
Yeah.
And they're incredibly talented, and it was such a rough loss. And I'm going to admit that I was brought to the Chiefs through Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
But I came for Taylor Swift and I stayed for the game because I fell in love with the actual sport of football. And then I got to know the players on a bunch of the different teams. And now there's like 5 teams that I'm obsessed with.
Okay, if there's anyone who knows me, they know I'm the least athletic person. If anyone knows Molly, she's even less of an athletic person. So I don't know this hoopla she's trying to give you all, but she's here just because Taylor Swift, and that's about it. And the cute outfits.
I do appreciate that you are dressed in black, just like me, because we are in mourning today. But congrats to all the Eagles fans. I do appreciate the fandom. And the last thing I'll say about it is yay to the Eagles, but also in the post-game interviews, Pat Mahomes did say and admit he didn't play his greatest game. It was not great. I don't know what happened. I don't even recognize the team, to be honest.
Wait, could we not actually talk about the game? Could we talk about how awful the halftime show was?
Oh my God.
I just want to skip towards that. It sucked. I didn't know what was going on. Serena Williams was there.
This is why I'm so glad you're on, because one of the reasons I love to have Antonio on is because he's in his 20s. I am in my 40s. And so it's good to have different
her late 40s
from different ages. And so I was going to ask you, did you love the halftime show? Because I didn't understand any of the words.
Neither did I. I think it was too like club. I think it was a certain demographic that that appeals to like my age, but like it really didn't. I feel like the Super Bowl, it should appeal to everyone. Like it shouldn't just appeal to one person. Like, Rihanna's performed, Usher's performed. Those are like household names.
It was bad from beginning to end. Taylor got booed. The president got cheered. I wept. It ran the whole gamut. It probably will go down in history as one of the worst Super Bowls ever.
Oh yeah. Like, imagine how embarrassing that is. It's not like, you're at like a little talent show and you get booed. Like, you're at the Super Bowl and you get booed.
And like, where did the Chiefs go from here? I mean, they were really.
Didn't they make it last year too? Didn't they go to Super Bowl?
No, this was going to be a record-breaking, never been done before three-peat. No football team has ever won 3 Super Bowl titles back to back.
Oh, they went for the past 2 years too. So this is their third time. Oh, they've been busy.
The NFL, Antonio.
Yeah, they've been busy. They've been busy.
They're an amazing team. So for them to play as crappy as they did is a shock I probably will never get over, nor will they. But you know what? They are the comeback kings, and hopefully next year they will feel this loss and it will fuel the fire for them even further next year when they'll be back in the Super Bowl again.
Hopefully Taylor doesn't get booed. That's so embarrassing though. Did you watch the commercials? Which one did you like?
No, I was in such a state of shock, to be honest. I couldn't even function. Did you that you love so much? Did you feel like a brand really marketed themselves well during that time?
Nothing really stood out for me. The Pringles commercial, I saw that, but like there wasn't anything that was spectacular. They spent $8 million on a 30-second spot. You know what I could do with $8 million in 30 seconds?
Do you know
Like,
what we could do as like a country with $8 million each every 30 seconds? All right. So moving on to another embarrassment is this Marc Jacobs new spring 2025 line. What in the Smurf village is this?
they all look like they're Who's from Whoville. It's like they're all like Oompa Loompas, and like I get it if you like need some extra room, but like what is I didn't know what was going. I feel like fashion has taken a toll. No regular ass person is wearing that. I feel like fashion is not made for the masses anymore. It's made for people who want to look like clowns.
It's like, it's shocking. I like Marc Jacobs. I like his style. It's never really been that shocking or out there for me. I first saw it on Alex Earl. She put on an outfit that she was going to possibly wear that night. And I thought she looks like one of those paper dolls where you put like the clothes on. Like it didn't even like
Oh,
fit
I
her.
didn't see
It was
that.
flattering. And then I saw Lisa Rinna and Tracy Ellis Ross,
Yeah, yeah.
and they look like actual puppets. I'm just like, who can you imagine? Right. Because I know how, like, when they present the new lines in the year ahead and they all sit around this like big table, can you
Yeah.
imagine them being like, and for spring, we are going to have inflatables. It's going to be amazing.
But what I don't even understand, like, what's the theme? Like, is it just like inflated egos, inflated
Yes.
like
Nailed it.
the thing is, it's like, what is like fashion? Yes, I understand, like, take risks, this, that, the other, show skin, do that. But like, you all look like characters from a movie.
And I think sometimes everyone is now trying to shock and awe. I mean, that seems to be the thing. Everyone's trying to be outrageous, to be extreme in their tweets, in their opinions, in their fashion, because that's the only way to get headlines nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think it's just taken too far. Who's going to look back on wearing one of those pieces and be like, oh, that was a great era for me?
Wait,
That really,
talking about extremes, yeah, no one's gonna ever look back and think it's good. Have you seen this woman from Pakistan who's
yeah,
like, wait, okay, can we talk about this?
go into
I
it.
I do not know anything. Nothing. Last night I was at my friend's house. I was at Justin's house. He was like, "You remind me of this woman." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you just like will bark orders at people and like you're like 20,000 here, like all these crazy things." He's like, "Yo, you are very similar to her."
Listen, I admire any woman who goes for it and just asks for what she wants. So props to her. I mean, she's being crazy. She has amassed a whole following of all
Yeah.
of us, let
But she's
alone,
like, "This is my team." And then like the woman's like, "I don't own the hotel," and like all this crazy stuff. But I'm
and she's
like,
like, no, yes, you do.
yeah,
Yes, you do.
yeah. And then she's like, "Get rid of it." And then she's like, "I need 100,000 by Tuesday." I want to be her. If they're actually giving her money, we're going to Pakistan.
That level of aura should be studied.
But I think she's bipolar. I think it came out that she's bipolar. Clearly,
Well,
her screws aren't all there.
listen, if she gets what she wants by, putting it out there into the universe, power to her. If
I
she,
mean, how much are flights? Where could we go to make a quick 100K?
I mean, it's amazing. I got to dive more into that, which I'll do
I
to
know.
understand
Yeah,
the
yeah. I think
whole
it's fascinating.
story.
But
But it's,
she's back in America now.
oh, she is. Okay.
She's from New York.
I'm going to, of course she is. Only a New Yorker would have that level of chutzpah. But I really want to get to the Meghan Markle of it all because, okay,
You love her.
I do love her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to explain this in a second. Okay. Meghan Markle has come under fire recently for her new Netflix series, With Love Meghan, okay, which was supposed to debut last month on Netflix, a luxury lifestyle and cooking show, which was supposed to be, in her
She
home.
thinks she's Martha Stewart.
Well, the new Martha Stewart, right? Everyone's trying to rebrand as the new. So it was going to be recorded in her home, kind of entertaining with her friends, cooking in her gardens, and it got postponed. She says because of the fires that happened, and she wanted to devote her time to that. Understandable. She was also going to kind of relaunch her podcast, which kind of fizzled out. That has now gotten postponed as well. And what are your thoughts on this new show that's coming out? I think it's now slated to come out March 4th or 5th.
Listen, I think she needs to do something. I think she needs to work. She was an actress. I think she likes being in front of the camera. I think what she should do is just be a really high-end content creator and put these clips on social media and not do it. Listen, she probably got a huge check from Netflix. She didn't do it for her health and wellness. She did it for the money. And I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I think a lot of people just give her shit on everything she does. I think it's like she can't do anything right ever in life. I feel like the world is very hard on her, and I think she seems cool. And I just wish though we could see a different side of her, more personable, like shooting the shit versus like staged. And, like I saw the commercial for her Netflix show and it looks like very much like, oh, I'm in my garden picking flowers. And this, like, I want to hear about like the crazy shit that went on in like the castle. Like, that's what I'm here for. Like, I want to know the dirt.
Well, here's the thing, and this is why she's getting slammed on this, is because the home is not even in her home. The
Oh,
garden came with the home. It's not a garden that she made with love.
well, do you think Martha Stewart, they're filming her home and it's all
Yeah,
her garden?
it
Oh,
is.
what?
It is.
Oh,
Yes. And so it's the problem that I have with it now, I got torn apart when I made TikToks about this. And so, but I'm going to say it again on here.
hater.
My issue is with Meghan is that where the press has a problem with her is they say that she's inauthentic. She's out of touch with us common folk, right?
I mean, clearly she's like the royal family. There's no way she's in touch.
If I was on her team, I would say you need to come on TikTok or IG Reels or
Yeah.
something with your own camera in front of your face and talk to everyone and tell them
Yeah.
about your day in your home, your day to day. Like
It's too overproduced.
it's way too overproduced for her first step kind of back.
I
And
agree. But I think a lot of people just hate on her a lot. I think a lot of people are always like, I think she wants to put out this polished version. And, I think obviously Netflix is a huge company and, there's probably millions of dollars backing it. But, I think she should just go the authentic route and go on social media and just be herself, share her life. I think people will like her better that way.
do you think that the hate that she receives is deserved? Do you think it's not?
Like I don't personally comment on people's things in that aspect. I think it's very rude. And especially like you don't know all sides.
Yeah.
Like more power to her for doing a really cool project. I think authenticity matters and it shows. And it's also going to translate to what you do in the future. Being you is the best possible version of yourself. And it's going to amplify in that. And people are going to know her voice and her tone and all that stuff. I'm interested to see how they are produced, these episodes, to see if it is more natural, organic, conversational, or if it's like, add 1 cup of this and this, and a little bit more staged. I hope it's
I I'm going to rewind for a second because people originally fell in love with Meghan Markle through her vlog called The Tig. And it was kind of what I'm asking, and a lot of people are asking from her, which is a more authentic, everyday, non-produced, just her talking about her everyday life. And people fell in love with her through this. It did very, very well. It brought in a lot of money. She was very successful. Then she married a prince, right? And we were like, oh, what? A prince? How amazing. I couldn't wait for the royal wedding. It was my favorite royal wedding that I ever watched. It was
we covered it on the radio show that year for Halloween. We actually dressed up as royals. You'll have to like insert a clip of the
dressed up for the royal wedding.
Yeah, we literally were there, folks. Virtually.
Our invitations got lost in the mail, but we dressed up anyway and watched the royal wedding. And I thought it was wonderful. Now, she is not the first girl to get married and realize that her in-laws are overbearing and not be in love with them. Okay. That is a tale as old as time. Okay. That's where the castle started crumbling, so to speak. And that's where the tides kind of turned. But how much of that was American press versus British press now skewing kind of the landscape of what was really going on there, right? Then they did their own Brexit. They left. Okay. They were like, we're done here. And they left and came over here. And I think just from the British press and what they were saying, and then their move over here and all that went on with that, she got a really bad rap, kind of like she's the one that made Harry leave the royal family. It was all her doing. And since they've been over here, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff they've been trying to start never finished. And so they're getting a lot of flack for starting things and not finishing them, if you will.
Yeah, it's annoying. And you dilute your audience in that way. It's like, oh, here they have another project. I think a lot of people, you try something, everyone thinks that their stuff is the best and it's the most amazing thing. And, people just leap into things, but then they don't think. And then you're on a huge platform and it's like, and then you pull back. It doesn't work. I think a lot of people, celebrities, influencers, they try doing that all the time and they're on a different level. They're not even a celebrity. They're royals. Like you're above a celebrity in a certain caliber, So I think they just have probably a bad team. Maybe we should rep them.
Right, exactly. So what I appreciate is that they did come here. They did start a foundation called the Archewell Foundation.
Where do they live now?
They live in California. I think it's out in Calabasas or somewhere around there. But again, I want to go back to their foundation because I want to highlight some of the good that they're trying to do. Okay. So They are trying to do good. The Archwell Foundation, they also launched the Welcome Project, which brings together resettled refugee women across America for activities like cooking, hiking, painting, and sewing. I think they're trying to do good, but their nonprofits don't have all their papers filed, so they've come under flack for that. There just isn't this execution point. Which
Yeah, it's an internal issue. They're trying to do too much. Stick to one freaking thing, do it. Do you want to be a philanthropist? Do you want to be on Netflix baking cakes for Martha Stewart?
Well, I think that's the issue is like, are we doing philanthropy or are we doing a luxury lifestyle show? It's very different. So you asked before, what are they worth now?
Yeah,
And
yeah. Do they have like money? Did he like get
yeah,
money from all this? Like,
they do. It's reported that he's worth about $60 million. 95% of their funding does come from income allocated by the HRH Prince of Wales. Um, estimated to be about 16 million. He did receive 22 million from his Tell All Despair.
so you know what you do? You shut up, you close the blinds, and you live your life in Calabasas.
I mean, my final piece of advice for dear Meghan is I think she should go back to her days of the TIG. I think she should do her like online vlog. I think people will root for her and the more authentic and less produced that it is. And she'll always get criticism. Actually,
For sure.
I want to talk about this for a second because I did get slammed on this for TikTok for saying anything negative about Meghan. And to me, I don't look at constructive criticism, just giving my opinion on what I feel would be helpful for her
Absolutely.
as negative. Now, when I give you constructive criticism, Antonio, or you give it to me, do you feel like I'm helping you or I'm trying to hurt you? Do you feel like I'm in your corner?
Helping always. And I think vice versa. I think when wherever, especially about work stuff, like you and I always go back and forth on each other's
Always.
projects. And I'm always like, no, that doesn't make sense. And whether we have to clarify, well, this is why, or, oh, okay, it's an open dialogue and stuff like that. I personally don't care. People can criticize me all day long.
Yeah,
Construct.
first of all, we're both in PR. It's kind of
Yeah.
what we do is we kind of
Yeah.
look at the big picture. We look at how people are presented in the world and where they could help their image and what's hurting their image. And so for me to give, and sometimes I'm brutally honest, but that's what I do. And that's what
I think a lot of people, I always use this to all my clients. When you're in your business and you're in your life, you have blinders on. Like you're in a horse race. You're only seeing what you're seing. I'm seeing it from the racetrack. So I'm seeing all the other horses run around the track too. And
100.
that's what you're getting when you come to my agency. That's what you're getting I don't know what you get when you come to Molly's agency, but just kidding. But like, that's what you're getting when you work with people like us. Like we're not the horse on the track. We are watching the race from the top.
100%. And it's interesting how like social media takes any kind of criticism, even if it's trying to be constructive and helpful. It's like, how
Yeah.
dare you bash them? How dare, they come at you like, who do you think you are? So constructive criticism is actually a helpful tool and a supportive tool for somebody of drama, influencer drama and whatnot. Poppi, the soft drink, is coming under fire for being tone deaf.
But I had one the other day and I kept going to the bathroom from it. It's like prebiotic, Like,
Yeah.
go.
So it's going tone deaf because they're gifting full on vending machines to big influencers, right? As part of a marketing scheme, right?
Yep.
Which so many brands do.
I wouldn't say marketing scheme. I would say marketing plan. I don't think it's a scheme.
That's a much better word. You're right. A marketing plan and it's working, right? Everyone's talking about it. All of these big influencers on TikTok and Instagram are talking about these huge vending machines they have in their house and all the different flavors they're choosing. They're doing cute little skits with it. Now it's coming under fire because people are saying, why would you not give these vending machines to people who deserve them, or hospitals, or places like that? Why are you giving them to these wealthy influencers? What are your thoughts?
So people don't understand from a marketing perspective. Influencers are paid tens of thousands of dollars. Clearly, Poppi's doing a huge marketing plan because they just did a 30-second or a minute commercial. So it's $10 million plus they're spending. They had Alex Earl, they had Noah Beck, they had other major creators all in one commercial.
My favorite, Jake Shane, who I adore.
Jake Shane, that's what I was going to say. I forgot his name. So all of these people, that's hundreds of thousands of fees, and there's a lot going into it. Okay, great. They're clearly spending money. They are gifting these machines. These machines are not free for them, probably. Cost money somewhere to do all the graphics and design, all this stuff. Okay. Then look at the influencer who charges hundreds of thousands of dollars for posts or tens of thousands for posts, if you're on a smaller level. But like an Alex Earl charges hundreds of thousands of dollars for posts. Imagine just gifting her something. The machine costs less than what you're going to pay.
Costs $25,000 per vending machine.
Oh, is that what it costs?
Yeah.
Okay. So most of the time they're going to gift to someone who their rate is probably more than 25,000. You're not only going to get TikTok, you're going to get an Instagram. You're going to get Instagram stories. You're going to get people talking and being like, what the hell is this? So we're sitting here right now talking about Poppi. We're giving them free brand exposure. It's going to be in the news. People are going to, Daily Mail is going to pick it up. This one's going to rip them to shreds. That one, all of these people, they're creating way much more of an impact and an ROI than they would get if they did #partner, because you also have to disclose if it's a partnership. That's the FTC guidelines, but they're making so much more money on ROI of brand awareness based off gifting those vending machines than they are as if they would to pay the creator and send the vending machine. Because if you're getting a gift like that, you want to be in the brand's good graces and this is a only good gift. Who doesn't like to show off their shiny new toy? That's what they're doing. So it's actually very smart. So I think when people criticize them, I think that they don't understand the marketing aspect of it. And there's a reason why you're talking about it and the reason why you're going to look into what it is if you don't know what Poppi is. I also heard that they're not letting them keep these vending machines. I don't know if that's true.
TBD, but I'm just going to show or talk about the other side of it. Poppi is one of them. Tripping with Tarte. I know Tarte comes under fire every year for doing their elaborate, amazing trips that they do, that they bring influencers on.
They don't pay the influencers. The influencer posting 3 to 4, 5 times a day because it's exclusive. Do you know how many millions of impressions they're getting per creator that if they were to pay for that would be tens to hundreds of thousands in itself? Also, I'm sure that they're working with these resorts. They're working with other brands to be in these gift bags. They're either paying to be there or they're giving them a very reduced rate to pay for it. So I don't know if they're actually, spending more than they would if they were going to pay the creator on their own.
But how much more amazing would it be, just to say the other side of it, how much more amazing would it be if instead of each of these influencers who go on the Trippin' with Tarte trips, instead of bringing their mom or their sister or their spouse, they brought someone who would never have the opportunity? And so do you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's not what it's about. Like, yes, it's great to do nice things, but that's not what we're here for.
But maybe it should be about that.
Everyone's in it for themselves when you own a business.
I don't know. I see a turn kind of towards the feel-good marketing these days and helping others and a little bit less show-offy.
Tarte does that though. With the fires, they donated, I think, a few $1,000s in each of the person that's going named. They were doing different specials and promotions with the money, which I think is great. And that's how you can be inclusive in that aspect. But I don't think giving a trip to people doesn't really do anything. Maybe get you pressed, but it's not going to, I get what you're saying, but it's not really going to do the full effect as if Alex Earl's going on this trip. Just saying. But
what if Jake Shane or Alex Earl picked a charity to send the Poppi vending machine to, and they got to be there when it got delivered, or they got to pick who was going on the trip and send them a message? I think it would be a feel-good moment for the influencer, for the brand, and for the person who gets to go. Just my opinion, just my advice. Take it or leave it. Antonio, I have enjoyed every minute of being with you again. I hope you'll come back again to talk about all of the polarizing headlines in the news.
Thanks so much for having me. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye.